Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the link between vitamin D deficiency and the role of vitamin D and in the severity of COVID-19. So, I haven't talked about COVID in a while, but I continually do research on the topic and about different therapeutics and different natural remedies and things of that nature. So, recently I discovered, and it's been known for a little while, some studies have shown how vitamin D can help reduce the severity of COVID-19 and your susceptibility as well. So we all know, most of us know, that vitamin D is great for the immune system. It's great for a ton of functions in the human body, and vitamin D is very, very essential. So obviously, we do get vitamin D from the sunlight. However, most people in our society do not get near enough sunlight and sun exposure, pretty much unless you work outside or you don't have, a typical 9-to-5 job. Then, in that case, you would be able to probably get enough. But for most of us, for most people here in this matrix, it is really hard to get enough sunlight, especially in the colder months. So here in Texas, it's a little bit easier because the weather is warmer and it tends to be a lot more conducive to going outdoors. So, and if you're the type of person that goes out and tries to, if you're going in and out throughout the day, taking breaks, then you're going to obviously get more vitamin D. So a lot of people, the only way they get outside is like on a smoke break, and I don't recommend that because obviously, you're smoking a cigarette, so you're kind of defeating the purpose and counteracting your, trying to be healthy by getting the sunlight and then smoking your cigarette. So anyways, I don't recommend that, and I just want to point that out because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I get outside all day, every day, but you're smoking every time you go outside. So I just had to throw that out there. So a recent study has shown that they did, I'm not sure who performed the study, honestly, but the most recent study that I read about was they took a certain number of patients that were hospitalized with COVID-19, and they took blood samples, ran a bunch of tests, and they found that over 80% of the people that were hospitalized had very low levels of vitamin D, like substantially low. And so that's a really clear sign right there. It's a pretty clear indication that vitamin D does play a role to an extent. I don't think it's necessarily something that's going to make or break you, but I feel like it's an important thing to consider. And if you're not taking vitamin D, I do recommend supplementing with it, whether it's in your multivitamin or whether you're taking a vitamin D supplement in and of itself, or supplement that contains a good amount, a good dose of vitamin D. So I make sure that myself and my kids, my whole family, I make sure that we all get multivitamins and plenty of vitamin D. So, and not only that, but there is no substitute for sunlight. And I think a lot of people, kind of have a misconception that just because you are outside, if you're outside and it's cloudy, that you're not getting any sun exposure, if it's raining or misty or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that the sun is still getting through those clouds, the rain, the mist, whatever, what have you. So you want to make sure that you're getting at least 20-25 minutes a day minimum sun exposure. Now I understand if the weather is just so horrible that you can't get out, it's sub-zero freezing, it's raining really hard, like I totally understand that. There will always be days in which you can't really get out. But another thing I would highly recommend is if you live in an area where you don't have access to a lot of sunlight, or just if you want to do extra, you can get yourself a vitamin D box, like a light machine. I think there's a brand called, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a really good brand out there that sells these really affordable sunlight boxes, and it's not actual like UV light, but it's like a vitamin D box. And so you can actually buy lights like that, and other lights they're called like SAD lights, SAD. And so a lot of these lights will produce vitamin D D, and so help you get that into your system so you can use it while you're on your phone, your tablet, while you're reading, watching TV, you know, whatever you're doing, exercising, housework, etc. So yeah, again, it's really important to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D, not just for the sake of the pandemic, but for your overall health in general. And studies have shown over the years, especially recent years, the majority of the population is somewhat deficient in vitamin D. So it's very easily fixable by supplementing and just getting outside. And even just, you know, running errands throughout the day, getting in and out of your car, walking to and from places, you know, even just going and taking, you know, a 15-20 minute walk down the street and back, you know, around your neighborhood, whatever. Just get out and get yourself some fresh air, some sunlight. And if you make a consistent habit of this, it has significant effects on your health positively, because we were not created to be stuck indoors like hermits all the time. And I don't go a lot of public places at all. I, in fact, avoid public places due to the pandemic. So, you know, right now I'm not really going meeting places at all. So, like, I go to the car wash, the grocery store, maybe once a week. I go to, you know, I'll go to the park sometimes, take walks, and I do what I have to do. You know, if I have to go run an errand, I'll go do it. I go tan about once a week. And, yeah, I mean, that's really about it. I'll go through the Starbucks drive-thru, and I've mentioned this before, I'm just really particular about where I go places, when I go places, etc. But whatever I'm doing, even if I'm at home all day and I'm stuck homebound, I make sure that I'm getting out. Even if the weather is bad, getting outside as much as I possibly can. And if the weather's good, I'm going to exercise outside. I'm going to meditate outside. I'm going to do everything on my phone outside that I need to do. So, unfortunately, I'm self-employed, so I can do that throughout the day. And so I don't have to be cooped up indoors. And so that's just me. But no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstance, get your vitamin D. And I really feel that it's a huge benefit. So, again, studies are now showing that vitamin D potentially does play a role in the severity of COVID-19. And this is proven by science. So, and, you know, again, I'll note, I'm not an expert. I am not here to treat or diagnose anything. I'm just sharing my opinions. I'm just sharing my research. I'm sharing, you know, my point of view on things and just some advice in general. You know, I'm not offering medical advice, and I always say this because I don't have certain certificates and diplomas, but I do hope this helps, and I do hope that if you did not know this, that now you know something new about that link between COVID-19 and vitamin